How is it going, everyone? What's popping, locking, you name it? It's me, it's 33, here tonight for the first of many nights of live 2K25 wrestling. I'm setting up ready for this matchup or set of matches today. I'm pumped, as many of you might also be. So, tonight we begin the road to locked in. And guess what? It's gonna be epic, to be honest. As I, for one, cannot wait to see who wins out in each of our divisions. If you're unaware of what's happened, simply put, for the next 31 days, give a week next week where it's a break week, we will be heading on the road to the Showdown, which will be a 2-night live event, a Saturday and Sunday coming up. To give more context, we have 4 divisions: the Pink League, Green, Teal, and Gold League. And each league there's 2 male, 2 female leagues, and all 4 leagues contain 8 superstars. So if you can do the math, that's 28 matches per league. So we have to do 28 different shows with 4 matches in them. So it's a complete round robin of the entirety of the divisions. From there, the Showdown will be the finals, where we take the top 4 in each division, and we'll have like a conference final. If you've ever watched the NHL, that is how it'll work. It'll be top 4 from each division facing off, first seed versus fourth, second versus third, and then there'll be a division final. So the winner of the Gold League will then face the winner of the Green League, and the winner of the Teal League faces the winner of the Gold League. Now, tonight, we're going to see all 4 leagues in action, and we're starting off in the Pink League. That's right, it's going to be Shawn Michaels taking on Randall Keith Orton here tonight. And I'm ready, because there's no laws, there's no IPW sort of logic behind it in terms of the universe. It is just top stars versus top stars based on... Actually, there is a bit of IPW universe in this. It's top stars power ranking wise versus top stars overall. The champions, every champion's involved in this. But tonight's match card, if we run it down, first match, Michaels versus Orton. We then travel to the Women's Teal League, Io Sky, Lyra Valkyria. That's certainly a high-flying match up, to say the least. Our co-main event, the Demon, the former television champion, taking on AJ Styles. Battle of the Bullet Club there. And then finally, to round out the evening, it is Vakir versus Rhea Ripley. That's going to be an epic bout, to say the least. One of which I'm looking forward to the most. But as we see it here, the opening bout of the evening will be Michaels versus Orton. And why not get into said matchup right now? Wrong arena, but who cares? Welcome to Las Vegas, Nevada. As the former world champ.
The following contest is scheduled for one fall. Making his way to the ring from San Antonio, Texas, weighing in at 227 pounds, the Heartburn Kid,
Shawn Michaels enters the breakdown arena for tonight's action. And obviously, he's a little bit upset. The last time out was in the co-main event of Crush, where he lost his belt. Sorry, locked in. Forgot we had a completely different pay-per-view in between them two. But he lost his belt to Samoa Joe in that triple threat match. Tonight, he's vying towards a different championship, the Showdown Championship. And the issue for him, Samoa Joe sits in the opposite bracket in the Green League. Now, obviously, he would like that rematch with him, but this man is a champion in his own right.
and his opponent from St. Louis, Missouri, weighing in at 295 pounds, the undisputed television champion, the Viper, Randy Orton.
We said that champions will be battling former champs, and well, the new television champion in his first bout faces the former world heavyweight champ, Shawn Michaels. Set to be a banger here tonight. Michaels, his opponent, after winning in the chamber at Locked In, looking for a bit of a brawl here tonight. Randall Keith Orton stepping in. Obviously, the guy he took the belt off is competing here tonight in the Demon. But as we get underway here in the breakdown arena, Michaels grabbing a hold of Orton. Nice suplex there. We're going to see a lot in terms of fortitude from these two stars. Orton coiling up early, calling Michaels to his feet. Sent him into the corner. Begins a run up. Nice forearm strike in the corner. Following it up with a nice shot to the back of the head. And Orton, he's going aggressive in the early parts of this one. Bear in mind, Orton obviously freshly picked up the belt as a roll-up attempt here from Michaels. Gets a rope break. Does press from Orton out of that. But yeah, as I was saying, both sides of this matchup is very interesting. As we said, champs are going to be facing off against each other. Could you imagine Orton winning the Pink League and then Samoa Joe winning the Green League? You're going to have television champ versus world heavyweight champ, undisputed world heavyweight champ. And that is something that we're potentially going to see. It's the first kind of crossover between our divisions here in IPW. The television division facing off against the undisputed world heavyweight division. Similarly, it's the same thing in the women's division. The crossover, though, in the women's is slightly more blurred in terms of who faces for the championship, but as a whole here tonight, we're getting a good taster for all our divisions in terms of the action that's going to be happening. As we turn our attention back to this match, Orton realistically has been pummeling Shawn Michaels through the early goings of this one. And once again he coils up, he's calling Michaels to his feet. Michaels really hasn't been able to get going, and this is kind of a style that he does realistically utilize in his tag team wrestling alongside Triple H and DX. He was typically the punching bag, so him being beaten up right now by Orton isn't too surprising. However, the minimal offense he's been able to land does slightly concern me, considering Orton has just constantly been targeting the head of Michaels. It could potentially concuss him and realistically take him out of the tournament, and that is something we really do not want to see. Now our referee, Kevin, drawn the duties for this match up to a 5. Make that 6 as Orton continuing the pressure on the outside, finally taking Michaels back into the ring. Now, obviously, first match here for both these stars in the Showdown tournament. And you kind of have to think you want to get the ball rolling thick and fast, because the competition in your division, if we look at who else is in the pink division alongside Michaels and Orton, you've got former world champ Will Ospreay, you've got Roman Reigns, Jon Moxley, for Christ's sake. Those two alone have been top stars that just haven't gotten the chance to have that shot at the belt. Alongside that, you have underground destroyer, submission specialist Kurt Angle in this league. And then Gunther to round it out. It is top pedigree talent as Orton landed the vintage DDT there. And he's coiling up to strike. The Viper RKO planting Michaels. Could this be an opening victory? So close to the result he wanted. Orton keeps going to that place, but he's yet to score victory. It is first to a fall here in this matchup. If you're unaware of how the leagues will work out, it is 3 points for a normal victory, 2 points for a count-out victory, 1 point for a draw or a count-out loss, and 0 points for a standard loss. So, realistically speaking, if you are on the verge of losing, it's probably best to get counted out. But as we turn our attention to this matchup, Orton's probably priming himself for a 3-point victory here against the former Undisputed World Heavyweight Champ, the 2-time Heavyweight Champ. Michaels still yet to really do anything here. Orton continuing to load, applying the pressure, just tossing Michaels into the pin. He goes. 1, 2. A big kick out there from Shawn to stay in this one. But the attention really is on him, as he's really not been able to do much. Orton unloading a combo. Nice side Russian leg sweep to take down Michaels. The champ has been in firm control. Manages to get back to his feet. The forearm strike connects in the nip up. Could this be the tempo changer Shawn is in need of? The chop misses. Orton potentially looking for an RKO there. Gets hit with a dropkick, and Michaels begins to tune up the band. The tides are turning, and a thwapping kick connects. Sweet chin music, and this could be it. Orton out at 2, but Michaels, he's calling Orton to his feet once more. Irish whip. The kitchen sitcom, and Orton strikes with an RKO. Into the pin goes the Viper, and it was almost me saying ball game, but Michaels surviving 2 RKOs, the will of a champion on full display from the 2-time champ here. Orton, though, continuing to maintain the pressure. Shawn struggling. Orton thriving in the mayhem. Begins to work over the leg of HBK. HBK, though, pushing off and setting Orton up. What could he be looking for? The forearm connects, the nip up. The atomic drop. Michaels is rolling the body slam through. And he's heading up top to finish this off with a diving elbow planted in the heart of Orton. That cold heart gonna be meeting a potential kick to the face. Sweet chin music landing, and Orton's night is still going on as he kicks out in the nick of time. Michaels coming back into this match. Atomic drop, numero uno, make it 2. And down goes Orton, clutching his yam bags, but he's still into the pin here. Quick kick out from Michaels after, well, controlling several minutes of this match, but the Viper fighting back, backbreaker onto Michaels, trying to take him out of the tournament. Cranking now on the neck. Orton, you have to feel that this tournament, especially for him, considering no title matches will be held during the Showdown, or the road to the Showdown as well, Orton's field of potential challenges as a third RKO comes through. He slithers into the pin, and I thought Michaels might be in a rope break, but it doesn't matter. He kicks out at 2. That's 3 RKOs. But that shot there busts Michaels open, bleeding from the eye. He's striking back, though. Headlock takedown. And now, look at the blood trickling down the face of Michaels. The showstopper. And Orton firing on all cylinders. And this has been a certain instant classic. Sweet chin music connects. Michaels falls, crawling now to make the cover. Draping the arm over, he's slow to raise the leg, but into the pin he goes for the victory. And Heartbreak Kid strikes first in the Showdown tournament. And this was an instant classic to kick it off, let's be honest. Orton threw everything at Sean here. And I thought Randy was taking down a former world champ. 3 RKOs, though, weren't enough to do the job. Instead, a trio, a triple entente of Sweet Chin Musics took the dub here for the Heartbreak Kid and put Orton to sleep. The television champ should now be on notice as a potential new challenger, and Shawn Michaels is rising into the division. But as we round out the replays for this opening bout, it's time to rev up for our second bout.
Your winner, the Heartbreak Kid, Shawn Michaels.
From top tier talent to the high octane performers of the women's division, Lyra Valkyria will be taking on Io Sky in the teal division. And this will be good in my mind. We're going to see some really solid talent here. Io Sky, former or current women's world champion in WWE, versus the current intercontinental champion, I believe. I don't know if she lost the belt actually yet. A certain night main event. I will in fact check that, because I don't want to be called a liar. Granted, I am probably always going to be called a liar. Anyway, let's just check. Who won at Saturday night's main event? 'Cause I'm pretty sure she faced Becky at the event. Okay, here we go. Never mind. The belt wasn't defended. When is she defending the belt against Becky? That's the real question. Anywho, I am ready now to just launch us into an instant classic. Surprisingly, I think we all know how I'm going to treat this match, let's be honest. Also, I'm going to be breaking character here a little. I honestly thought I accidentally picked me playing as Shawn Michaels, considering how dominant Orton was. But yeah, let's go into the primetime arena. Woo! 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 And we're ready for the first match in the teal division, as Lyra Valkyria makes her way to the ring.
The following contest is scheduled for one fall. Making her way to the ring from Dublin, Ireland, Lyra Valkyria.
Go Birds is all I need to say, as she's ready for action. Woo! 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 Lyra, she's been making her name in IPW. Certainly a star for the future. Had great form in the mixed tag tournament. She was involved in the round robin night and came out trumps with her partner Kofi Kingston. Here tonight, she begins a similar path towards the Showdown glory. But the road is not easy. Former world champs and current world champs sit in the same path.
And her opponent, representing Damage Control from Tokyo, Japan, Io Sky.
The path is one of wonder, as Io Sky stands in her way. And Io's a similar story to Lyra in terms of a show-off star. We don't typically see her competing too often in IPW. But when she does perform, she is a hard nut to crack. The Genius of the Sky demonstrates her skill, her very solid in-ring prowess every time she comes out. Tonight, against Lyra Valkyria, she's gonna need to ground the bird if she is to be a genius in the sky. As we get underway, Lyra coming out swinging. A nice slap there, just paintbrushing Io, bringing her down to the mat for some control. And surprisingly, it's Io grounding Sky in the early goings as she calls her up. Collar and elbow tie up here between these two. Lyra overpowering Io to kick us off, and that isn't too surprising. Io, while both similar stature in terms of height, has the extra bulk on her in terms of muscle, and that is going to favor her in this one. Io, very known for being agile, quick, utilizing her size to avoid offense. Both looking for a bit of high octane offense there. Io, though, coming out on top. Electric chair into the German suplex, just sending Lyra crashing to the mat. Sky, I love watching her compete here in IPW, as I say. But you look at the division, or the top women's division, we'll look at Fallon Henley sitting on top of it. Her recent challenges have all been very technical in their prowess. And I think both these women could put a good threat up to Henley in terms of a challenge, because we've seen Asuka, Charlotte Flair, Becky Lynch, to name a few. Those are very submission-heavy, technical wrestling stars. Io, Lyra, a bit more high risk. We've obviously seen powerhouses in the form of Nia Jax and Rhea Ripley challenging Henley. So, as a whole, I think that we've got some stars in this teal division that can certainly do some damage. Now, obviously, looking at the rest of the teal division as a whole, we've got, obviously, as we mentioned, Fallon Henley, the champion, sitting atop of the division, or this league. You've got Natalya, Julia, Roxanne Perez, Michelle McCool, Jasmine Nix in the mix as well, alongside television champion Natalya. Now, from my perspective, that is a very stacked field. Comparative to the men's side of things, we're guaranteed champion versus champion, as the television champ will take on the undisputed women's world champ. And I'm just looking at the brackets as to when that will happen. Nice DDT there, by the way, from Io as we focus back in on the match. Into the pin she goes, our referee Gale counting the one. But as we say, the divisions are very very wild as to who can face who. I will be brutally honest with you. Week 1 is going to be very, very hard for a lot of stars. We've got 7 matches, and, well, I'm legit trying to find... There we go. It is the main event of this week. In 3 days, we're getting champ versus champ. Henley versus Natalia. That's going to be an interesting bout. Anyway, Io Sky, nice moonsault there. Connecting onto Lyra. A 2 count off of it. Sky wanting to take an early lead into the Teal League, but cannot do so as Lyra catches a boot. Roll-up attempt here by Valkyria. Bridges over. Trying to get the dub, but Sky kicking out at 1. Lyra now sending Sky running. Drop down. Leapfrog. And the arm wrench gets caught. Punches coming out from Io. But again, her boot's caught and a knee connects to the skull. And Lyra begins a 2K comeback. Dropping Sky with a boot. She's looking to follow it up here. Pulling Io out of the corner. Gut wrench. Power bomb from Lyra here. Sitting out into the pin for a 2 count. And Io. Her game's been grounded. Valkyria has struck hard and fast against Io. But obviously we've seen Io's big maneuvers coming through in the form of that moonsault. Lyra needs to bounce back. Sends Io into the corner, but again a punch stopping whatever Lyra's after. Io sending Lyra into the other corner, puts her perched on the top rope. And that's not a good sign as a punch just discombobulating Lyra. Io up to the top alongside her for a Spanish fly. Both women crashing into the mat. And Io up to the top once more. Lyra in the drop zone for another moonsault press. The genius of the Sky victorious here tonight. And this match, a lot shorter than our opener, but I felt it was a bit more back and forth. Lyra had her opportunities to strike that nice ripcord forearm there. I thought maybe on the outside, when Lyra hulked up, she was gonna land the Nightwing and take out Io, but Sky just came out swinging. 2 moonsault presses, and that was it for Lyra. This 2K comeback really didn't amount to much. Io just quickly able to punish what Lyra aimed for, and now leads the Teal division as the Wub Wubs begin in the arena. We Wub Wub a dub for Io Sky. I don't even know what I was saying there, but we move over from this to a feature bout. It's a battle of the Bullet Club as Finn Balor aims to beat AJ Styles as the Demon takes on the Phenomenal One.
Here is your winner, Io Sky.
Once again, Io Sky victorious here tonight inside the Primetime Arena. Let's move over to bout number 3 this evening, which will be the Demon taking on AJ Styles. And this is, as I say, going to be a bit of a brawl because it is historic. Two leaders of the Bullet Gang, I'd say two of the three most iconic leaders. The third sits in the opposite division. Actually, no, sits in the same division to these two. Who am I kidding? But yeah, this is going to be an epic bout because you've got the inaugural leader, the founder, Finn Balor, Prince Devitt as he was known back then, taking on the guy to succeed him in the succession of the Bullet Club. And I'd say the guy that drove the club to its peak. And that peak was then obviously maintained by another guy who we won't see compete tonight. But it's still one that's not really been matched before. But as we ready ourselves for our third bout at night, I'm intrigued to see how everyone's feeling, because this is going to be fun. 28 days, as I say, of feature bouts. Obviously, next week is a break week, as I'm not even in the country to do the recordings. Sorry, not recordings, the live events. But yeah, this is going to be epic. As we're going to, as we get nearer and nearer to the showdown, we're going to see basically the field shape up. We'll know, presumably before the last match, who will be, well, at least one star qualified for the live event in each division, I'd say. Because there'll be someone who's, unless everyone beats everyone and we see wins across the board for all stars. But yeah, at current state, I don't expect that. But obviously, the interesting thing to note, next week, well, after the break week, we'll see Lyra competing again on day one. Well, on Monday. Other than that, everyone else is not going back-to-back day ones. So, there's that. Anywho, I've rambled on enough about getting into the action. How about we actually follow through as we enter again the prime time arena, and a deaf rebelled AJ Styles makes his way to the ring. The phenomenal one. You look, you feel. Brings the boom still. It's AJ Styles ready for action.
The following contest is scheduled for one fall. Making his way to the ring from Gainesville, Georgia, weighing in at 218 pounds, the phenomenal AJ Styles.
Now, obviously, here, Styles is looking for dominance. Will be able to apply the pressure in his game plan is the name of the game, because, well, the guy he's going up against is a former television champ. The Demon beat Jacob Fatu for the belt. A man who's also in this tournament and in the other side, in the other bracket. But the Demon in singles action has not lost. The only time he's put an L against his name is in the chamber. But that obviously is the only time a belt has been lost from the Demon. But as the mist grows stronger, we ready ourselves for action as the Demon's presence is made.
And his opponent, the Demon, Finn Balor.
Balor, the inaugural leader of the Bullet Club, bringing the regime that dominated Japan, and honestly setting up for this instant classic before the bells even rang. Who will strike first? Is the name of the game. As we know, these two, well, are dominant stars. When given a chance, the Demon, in this incarnation, Balor is unstoppable. Only a couple men seem to be able to beat him while he's like this. Can Styles add his name to that very short list? We shall have to see as Balor is ready to enter the ring. As the crowd opens their arms, ready for the Demon to strike. Obviously, action that you're about to witness is in the Green League. A league that's filled with top talent. The likes of the current undisputed world champion Samoa Joe. The Demon in the mix. Then the rest of the field shapes up with a former world champion, Seth frickin' Rollins. You've also got then top tier talent in the likes of The Rock, AJ Styles, Braun Breaker, CM Punk, and then Kenny Omega. As we say, these two former leaders of the Bullet Club, when they face off against the Cleaner, that's going to be 3 Bullet Club leaders battling in the Green League. Kenny not in action till Wednesday in the main event of that show. He'll be up against the badass dog Braun Breaker. Obviously, tomorrow's action is a stacked lineup as well. 4 bouts, as we say, across the 4 divisions tomorrow, which will feature in the opener Jasmine Nix taking on Julia. Battle of NXT there. Battle of Fatal Influence in that one as well. Rollins and then Samoa Joe, former world champ versus the current. That's going to be an interesting second bout of the evening. Liv Morgan, Alexa Bliss, another bout, which obviously we won't get to talk about the gold division until our main event tonight. That'll be a good bout as well. And then the main of tomorrow's show, it's the former undisputed World Heavyweight Champion Will Ospreay battling the former television champion Jacob Fatu. That's a great show in terms of names on the card. Yet alone the bouts themselves, we haven't even gotten to talk about them just yet, but that's going to be fun. I'm going to really enjoy that show as we turn our attention back to this bout. Nice brainbuster there from Balor. Bringing Styles' head crashing into the mat. Styles evades the elbow. Ducks the line, but gets hit with the second. These two early goings realistically will be trying to wear each other down. Balor trying to set up for the coup de grace. Styles can wear down Balor potentially with a calf killer. And then a Styles clash to finish the masterclass over Balor. But Styles now sends Balor running into the ropes. Drop down from the Phenomenal One, and then a perfect drop kick to put Balor into the mat. Styles, though, slow to get to his feet. Rolls up now, but Balor's quickly following up there. Styles might have burnt all his energy to do that. Tries for a gut wrench, Balor out the back door. Sends him running into the ropes. Drop down from Balor. And a hip toss to bring Styles to the mat. A pinfall attempt here. Balor not able to finish that one up, but does finally connect with the elbow. Missile dropkick misses in the corner. And Styles looking to punish. The ankle picked. The calf crusher locked in, but it's a rope break. Balor's ankle is saved, but for how much longer can he stay in this match? It's Styles looking for the pin. Only a 1 against the Demon. That's a pretty impressive kick out. But Styles to the apron, calling for the phenomenal forearm. Busts open Balor. The Demon in trouble. See the blood trickling down Finn's face. And this is a surprising start to the match. Obviously, we know that Styles has had tournament experience, G1s, in terms of this style of matchup, this style of tournament. Very similar to that, but in terms of battling in a matchup against Finn Balor, he's doing a good job considering I expected the Demon to be in control. Balor now finally getting involved, applying pressure to the leg of Styles, and now the arm. Finn is a man who can realistically control the tempo of a match, especially if he can land this maneuver. The shotgun dropkick puts Styles down. Pinfall attempt here. Balor looking for victory. Only able to get a 2. Styles plays possum, catches Balor as he closes the distance. And now Styles up, over, Hangman's neck breaker. Putting Balor into the mat. But Styles slow to get up. Finally able to do so. Applying the pressure. Up to the top rope goes Styles. And he's calling, wanting Balor back to his feet. Connecting with the crossbody. As Balor gets back to his feet, but splashed in the corner. Styles starting to roll, and he's waiting for Balor to get back to his feet. Balor catches him though, and the Demon looking to end it. 1916. Styles down, but is he out? No, he isn't. As we know, Balor will love to take this match. Love to prove he is the best leader of the Bullet Club. And realistically, prove himself to be a threat in the Green League. Nice abdominal stretch applied here. Styles, though, punching his way out of it. Up and down. Nice head scissor takedown. Kick to the gut. Styles is unloading here with this combination. Hooks Balor up once again. Up and over. Hangman's neck breaker. This time Styles up quickly. He's looking to punish as he calls Balor up to his feet. The roundhouse is ducked by the Demon, who sends Styles running over the top rope. The punch caught and Styles on the apron, not going to go flying with the forearm. Instead, rolling Balor through into the calf crusher. Balor in the center of the ring. Will he tap out? Styles applying the pressure, but not enough to keep the match going. But the lights have gone out. And Balor, bloodied, bruised, hooking Styles up. 1916. Into the pin goes the Demon, who uses his powers to potentially secure victory. Balor takes it over AJ. This was, it seemed, one-sided at points. In the early goings, Balor controlled. The middle stages of the match, Styles came flying through with phenomenal forearms and busted open Balor to get control and a potentially secure victory. But one calf crusher later, and Balor, he utilizes his powers the Demon gives him to get to his feet to set Balor up for 1916. And that ended the night for Styles, who could not get back up. And we now know the first is the best, as Balor wins the battle of the Bullet Club and secures an opening victory in the Green League.
Here is your winner, the Demon, Finn Balor.
We have one more match here tonight to round out the evening of action. It will be Stephanie Vakir taking on Rhea Ripley. And that will certainly be an instant classic, let's be honest. Vakir, dominant in how she performs. Rhea, the same, as they, as a whole, provide a similar game in terms of their powerhouse style and overall just phenomenal performances as top tier talent. Now, I for one cannot wait to see how our main event will shape up here. We've definitely got the potential for a upset here, because we all know Rhea is probably favorite. Rhea, as a whole, former world champion versus a woman double champ in NXT, North American champ, winning the belt against a current champion in IPW. If you can name the name, then be my guest. But this match, it's going to be set for explosivity. It's going to be set for an absolute belter. And I You know what? I don't have to wait. We're going into the main event right now. As we welcome the Eradicator to the main event scene. A woman who's challenged Henley for the top belt but fell short.
The following contest is scheduled for one fall. Making her way to the ring from Adelaide, Australia, Rhea Ripley.
But is looking to bounce back in the Showdown. Rhea Ripley can and will destroy everyone in her path, as Mommy knows and wants one thing: to sit atop of this women's division. To do that, though, the field is tough in the Gold League. Chelsea Green, Nia Jax, Alexa Bliss, Liv Morgan, Mercedes Moné, and Mandy Rhodes. The names that sit in this side, this bracket. While there is no champion, you have the former champ Nia Jax, former champ Chelsea Green, and then potential main eventers all aligning in this division.
And her opponent from San Fernando, Chile, Stephanie Paquet.
The road is a long one, and I think of all four divisions, there is no clear-cut favourite in the Gold League. Anyone can beat everyone. And that certainly sets it apart from the rest of the field. Now, Stephanie Paquet, obviously coming into this, fairly new into IPW. She fell short in her debut match to another debutee in Julia, who's ironically in the teal division. Oh my word. The crowd firmly behind Rhea Ripley there. But getting away, and it's Paquet striking first, but Rhea not far behind as they tie up here. Core and elbow. Paquet overpowering Rhea is a surprising sight. Our referee, Gale, breaking it up as they tie up once again. Who will get the better? It's Rhea this time. She's pushing Paquet into the corner. Referee once again breaks it up. And Rhea comes swinging back with Jeep Shot. Up onto her shoulders goes Paquet. And over she goes with the Alabama Slam. That's a reverse Alabama Slam. What's the opposite of Alabama? Who knows? Who cares? Either way, it's an effective bit of offense from Rhea. She starts to work over Paquet. But Paquet turning the tempo. Nice leg drop there. Though I think it missed the neck, realistically, of Ripley. They tie up once again. The third in this series. And Rhea just overpowering. Ripley too strong at this stage for Stephanie. And the Eradicator looking to apply the pressure. The issue is Paquet is solid. She likes punishment. Into the pin goes Paquet. Obviously people, I think this is quite a few people's dream match overall in WWE right now, as that was a lovely super kick. Flush on the jaw of Ripley. Obviously, we saw in our opening bout a few super kicks thrown about by Shawn Michaels. And this match might see a few more. Stephanie very solid in her trading game. She brings some high octane strikes, some big kicks, and nice execution as leg drop there. Just trying to guillotine the throat of Ripley. Nice roundhouse, and there's a gut kick from Vakir as to the apron she goes. We don't really see her fly too often, but here she goes, crashing directly onto the chest of Ripley. Rhea back to her feet quite quickly to try and stop the stampede, the steamroller that Vakir is going for. But she's not been able to do so, and Vakir hooks her up for a bit of eat defeat. Ripley facing a very game Vakir. Vakir charging in, caught in the corner with a drop kick, and Ripley's looking to punish into the electric chair position and just face bustering out with that one. Ripley turning the tides, and I think it's time for a riptide planted and stacked. Vakir in danger. Ripley only a 2 though. Vakir, snapmare, trying to set Ripley up. Ripley comes firing through with the lariat. Calling, looking for a kill shot. The punch to the back, takes the back. Not a snapdragon, instead a neckbreaker, a stunner, I should say, from Vakir, who comes flying through with that lariat. Up to the top goes Vakir. Turning around, inverted spiral tap. Landing flush on Ripley for a 2 count. As Vakir once again to the apron. Calls Ripley to her feet. Up, over, crossbody misses Ripley. Firing up, catching Vakir, hooking her up for a second riptide. Plants her quite close to the ropes. I'm surprised it's not a rope break, but it's not even a W just yet. Ripley, though, not finished just yet. Grabs a hold of Vakir and brings her into the corner. Clubbing blow to the back. And why not just send her into the apron? Sorry, into the ring post. Ripley, she's rolling. A missile drop kick is dealing the damage and busting open Vakir. The punch gets caught though by Vakir, who rolls up, looking to sneak the victory here. Ripley in trouble. Manages to escape at 2. It is a sneaky maneuver from Vakir to try and pick up the dub, but she's flapjacked. Still manages to fight back, gets to her feet. Hooks up Ripley for an eat defeat. And Rhea in trouble. Caught. Scooped and slammed. Vakir's heading back up top. Maybe thinking inverted spiral tap once again. This time a further distance, but it's still a connection. Center of the ring. And Vakir is not victorious just yet. Ripley surviving on instinct and surviving pretty well as she's back to her feet. Stomping away. Vakir, she's thrown a lot at Ripley, but Ripley, she can fight back. Mommy knows what she must do. But right now, she's on La La Land. Boots caught. Dragon screw, leg whip. Beautiful from Vakir. She goes into the cover once again. Ripley Can she kick out? Indeed she does. Ripley. Kick to the head and gets to her feet first, setting Vakir up for something. Powerbomb position. Up and down and sitting out with it. Doesn't opt for the cover. Instead, a roundhouse kick dropping Vakir. But Vakir, she's strong. La Premiera hooking up with a DDT. Ripley rolling to the outside to buy a bit of reprieve. Oh, Vakir crawling into something here. Oh my word. Headbutts to the skull of Ripley. And I'm surprised we don't see any blood marks left on the face of Ripley after that, because the blood's still trickling down the skull of Stephanie. And shot there from Ripley certainly not going to help Vakir's case of winning this match. In fact, it's probably going to hinder. There's Ripley and Vakir still battling on the outside. Electric chair position. Facebuster planting Vakir, who's quickly getting to her feet, but Ripley not going to allow her back. I feel Rip tied. Plants her. Down for an 8. Make it a 9. I think we're going to see our first 2-1. As Ripley secures the count-out victory in our main event. A surprise outcome. But it does make it a lot tighter of a division. We already said, of the 4 divisions, this was the most competitive. And with a 2-1 point split for our opening bout, that's not a good sign if you're Rhea. You realistically should have rolled Vakir back in and got the 3 points. This now still keeps Stephanie in a solid position, and it does put Rhea in a bit of a difficult one going forward, because she now only has 6 matches. And if she wants to max out her points, that's 18 points left. She'll be on 20 if she wins every match. There's still the potential, if she loses one, to, let's just say, Liv Morgan, hypothetically. Liv can top the division, get a better matchup, and it makes it harder for Rhea in the future. But still, it's a victory. In the main event for Rhea Ripley. And obviously, we don't really expect countouts too much, do we? Haha. But yeah, Ripley dominant in the victory. Hi, it's me again. That is our 4th bout of the evening. That's a nice crisp hour of content there. Just 4 quick matches to round out the evening. Let's just quickly go over, as obviously, well, let's be honest, we round out the evening with a 2-1 point split. Obviously, everyone bar Shawn Michaels, Io Sky, and the Demon Finn Balor is on 0 points in those 3 divisions. Rhea and Vakir now are on points. Stephanie on 1, Rhea on 2. Tomorrow, let's talk about the action. If you missed me announce what matches are coming out tomorrow, well, allow me to go through them with you. First up will be, as I'm just looking to see if I have the graphic for it. Okay, it's a Julia one. You could tell I wasn't prepared for this, but F it. We'll put the graphic in. Bout 1. Julia versus Nyx. That's going to be an interesting opener, as you've got up-and-coming talent in Jasmine Nyx versus a Japanese sensation, Julia. After that bout leads us into a pretty interesting one. It is former world champion versus the current one. Samoa Joe takes on Seth frickin' Rollins as Joe, the second ever two-time champ, will defend the belt. Will not defend the belt against Rollins, but will fight him regardless of that. After that nice tasty treat, we head to the women's side, the gold division. Alexa Bliss, Liv Morgan. That's a battle of the shorties, the hotties, the blondes, you name it. There's a lot of it. That's going to be a good bout as well. A lot of high-flying offense there. Speaking of high-flying offense, we round out that show, the main event. I hope you like former champs battling, because we have a couple in this one. Once I find the graphic, that's the real question. It's a pink division bout. And it will be... Where is he? Where is my man? There we go. Jacob Fatu taking on Will Ospreay. Two former champs, the former Undisputed World Heavyweight Champ and the former television champ, doing battle. That's a great way to round out our Tuesday night. And I, for one, really cannot wait to see it. So yeah, there's that. So, with all the matches in the card, thanks for joining me. We're done and dusted for tonight. It's going to be, as I say, a good night tomorrow night. And the divisions will start to shape up. We'll have a top 4, technically, in each of the 4 leagues. Clear-cut favourites will be known. But this first week's going to be good. It's going to be chill. And for the first time today, I couldn't have expected it to go any worse. But it went really well. Let's be honest, it was a good night. So yeah, thanks for joining me. I'll see you tomorrow, as I say. Peace out.